Know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a godfather. Do you know the Jagaban has a godfather? And if you did not know, we will be telling you about this and more in the course of our conversation today. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, some popcorns, call your friends, families, friends and foes to join in this conversation, because today we'll be going deep into something in the space of 2 years. Why? The president of Nigeria is currently visiting a country for the 6th time, a country language that we do not speak, a country that all other colonized countries in Africa that are francophones nations are breaking ties with. These are more we're exposing on the Emir Saddam Show today. Relax and have a great time. Alright, on today's episode of the Emir Saddam Show, as I said earlier on, we'll be discussing about why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in France, why Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken a 6th trip to France, and every time he takes this trip, they come out with some bogus statements. Oh, he's going on a rest mission, on a different things, just to keep Nigerians out of the loop of why he is actually in France. People begin to wonder, what are our ties with France? Why France? Of all nations in the world, why France? They did not colonize Nigeria. They have little or investments in Nigeria. Probably you point 1 or 2. There is no real reason why Nigeria should be in bed or so close to France. We don't even speak French. It worries me, and it has worried so many Nigerians, wondering why the president of the country is so fixated and attached to France. Many people don't even know why. I myself had to ask myself, I had to go deep in, do my little research, and I'm presenting this to Nigerians because the mainstream media will never tell Nigerians what I'm saying right now. What we're about to discuss about right now is something that is frightening, it's scary. Many people will wonder, Saddam, why are you doing this? I had to ask myself, hello, is this topic what you want to talk about? But it's important that in times like this, where I've always said we're in desperate times, I'm indeed very desperate, to let Nigerians understand who is currently occupying Aso Rock and what our resources are being used for. Because they will never get this information from the mainstream media. All other podcasters will not talk about this. I don't know why. Maybe 1 or 2 of our investigative journalists will do this piece. But it's important, and for posterity's sake, that this is being discussed. You might want to know who is the billionaire with 1 foot in Nigeria and the other in Paris. You might want to know the godfather of the Jagaban himself, the so-called master of politics in Nigeria that tamed the Atlantic Ocean. You don't know he has a godfather? Well, let's dive into it today and understand better on the Emir Saddam Show. Okay, I'm going to start by thanking every single one of you that have subscribed and that have turn on your notifications, make comment, drop your comments on the last episode of the show. Every one of you that have been putting us on the front foot, thank you to all of you. I might not see your work, I might not even comment, but I'm deeply grateful. You guys are the reason why I'm on the 3rd episode today. And I hope this episode goes further to enlighten Nigerians on what the Emir Saddam Show is here for. Bold talks, uncensored, unfiltered conversations, the real conversations that Nigerians should be having. We have a country to save. We as the people need to stand up and do it right. If we do not do it right, nobody's coming to do it for us. So let's jump into our conversation real quick. Who is the godfather of the Jagaban himself? Who is the godfather of the Jagaban himself? Well, dear Nigerians, I present to you the man called Gilbert Shaguri. He's not your average businessman. He was born to Lebanese parents in Nigeria, so he's Lebanese Nigerian, as the case may be. He has built an empire. He has built numerous empires. Well known in the 90s as allegedly the money launderer to Sani Abacha, the late General Sani Abacha, the man that laundered funds for Sani Abacha in the 90s, the man that was laundering Nigerians' money for Sani Abacha in the 90s. And do you remember the whole story that was painted about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that Nadeco created Nadeco, was part of Nadeco, he used Nadeco to fight Abacha's regime? What is Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing with the man that laundered money for Abacha? Did he really fight Abacha, or was he the inside man to Abacha? These are questions that I think we should begin to ask ourselves as a country, because if your godfather today Was the person laundering money for Abacha? I begin to wonder, were you really at war with Abacha, or were you in business with Abacha? Why do you have another launderer of the Abacha's regime as your current minister of budgeting and planning, Tiku Bagudu? For a man that build his charisma or his character around fighting for democracy, fighting the Abacha regime, it is weird to hear or imagine that your characters around you are people that were the closest to Abacha. If you were just dealing with, okay, probably some few ministers of Abacha, some people that have been in government, there are some people that they call Ajip, any government in power. It's understandable, okay, because those people, they are always gallivanting around the corridors of power looking for one, filling up their portfolios, looking for an office or other. It's understandable. But when the key people that laundered finance for Abacha are your men, I begin to question truly if you are an Abacha's ally or an Abacha's enemy. And I hope Nigerians begin to understand these issues I'm discussing here today. Gilbert Chagori was not just a money launderer for Abacha. He has been. We'll see most of this on your screens for you to understand. He has been fined in the United States for illegal campaign donations using straw donors. He has had his run-ins with international law enforcement. In Nigeria, he is very powerful. He is known as the owner of Echo Atlantic City. He literally owns Echo Atlantic City. In the US, he's very controversial. And in France, he is untouchable. That is the current godfather of Jagaban. So for him to have been there his sixth time, it's probably he's going to give every quarter a report to his godfather on what he has done, breakdown on deals, contracts, because he has given this man a whole lot of contracts, of which we will be exposing a whole lot of them on the platform today. A whole lot of contracts have gone to Chagori's firms, courtesy of the Bola Tinubu, right from his days as Lagos State Governor till today. So it is not a relationship that is just a relationship of today. It is a relationship that has been for over 25 years. So if he has been in a relationship with this man for over 25 years, stretching back to 1999, then you begin to ask questions. Truly, was Bola Tinubu an ally to Abacha, or really an enemy? Or the question they asked, or the question of that have been put outside there, him being an asset to the CIA, as released by my very good friend, someone that I respect a whole lot, David Hundeyi. It is important Nigerian begins to ask these questions. Who is this man that occupied the city in Aso Rock? What are his deals? What is he doing with the finances of the country? So let's dive into who Gilbert Chagori is a little bit. He's not your average businessman. He's a billionaire. I'm trying to be very careful with my words here so that I do not say things that are not accurate here. I'm saying things that I can remember, things that I've done a little research on for you guys to understand. Is that under Obasanjo or under Jonathan that he was exiled of Nigeria? One of those two regimes made the exiled him out of Nigeria. He was a known money launderer for Abacha. It's not a hidden fact. Everybody knows about this. Everybody that knows about what's happening in Nigeria knows about this. Probably the common Nigerians I'm trying to pass this message to right now do not know. Or they know that he laundered money from Abacha, but do not know his deep ties and connection to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now you might begin to ask, why is Chagori based in France? Why? What is he doing in France? It's simple. No extradition to Nigeria. He has wealthy friends, wealthy connections back in France. It's a perfect hideout for a billionaire of his status. It's a perfect hideout for him where he can stay, and every quarterly he calls his boy to come and give him account of how he's running his country, because he owns Nigeria. That is the original owner of Nigeria right now as we speak. Ladies and gentlemen, Gilbert Chagori owns Nigeria. The juiciest of contracts goes to him and his firms. We'll be reading out some of them today on the Emir Saddam show. How far and how deep rooted these ties between him and the president is. And this is where it all gets all juicy, because the Chagori's group have been involved in key projects in Lagos, including the massive Echo Atlantic real estate and the sea reclamation project. That so-called he tamed the Atlantic Ocean was done by his godfather. The actual tamer of the Atlantic Ocean, the actual tamer is no other person than the billionaire Gilbert Chagori himself. He tamed the Atlantic Ocean. His boy took took bragging rights. That is one of the most expensive lands in Africa, yes, in the world. The man controls and sits on wealth that can only be imagined. Such men do not appear on Forbes list, and that's why when I see most people talk about Forbes list, I just laugh and I'm like, Forbes list consists of billionaires that their wealth can be accounted for. In reality, so many people on earth here that are more wealthy than those people on Forbes list, But their names can't be on Forbes because their wealth cannot be accounted for. Their wealth has no ties to businesses, shady deals across different spheres, so you cannot tie their wealth.